Welcome. It is my honor, my privilege, and it's my deepest pleasure to welcome you to the second annual Sailors of the Year program at the U.S. Navy Memorial, where we will celebrate the accomplishments of 18 outstanding individuals. I'm the Navy Memorial President and CEO, Rear Admiral Frank Thorpe, and fittingly, I'm speaking to you from our National Chiefs Mess, named after MCPON Delbert D. Black, the first Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. It's fitting that we're in here because all 18 of our Sailors of the Year will be meritoriously promoted to Chief Petty Officer in recognition of their outstanding achievements. These men and women are, quite simply, our U.S. Navy's all-stars. They were selected in 2021 after a year that challenged all of our spirit and their stamina. We all know the extra challenges that 2020 brought to all of us. While the Navy had previously selected only 4 Sailors of the Year annually since the program's inauguration back in 1972, it updated the program last year to recognize the overall excellence of this larger group, selected and commended by commands around the world. You will not find a more deeply impressive group of dedicated individuals anywhere. Being chosen Sailor of the Year demands not only the highest level of performance, but also the demonstration of impeccable character. These sailors prove they are leaders who can learn and grow, support their teammates, and contribute to the mission. Basically, they epitomize what it means to be a first-class petty officer. They showed honor, courage, and commitment, and they embodied the Navy's core attributes of initiative, accountability, integrity, and toughness. They truly earned this celebration. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce these 18 sailors. We're going to hear each one talk about their special experiences: engineers aboard submarines, communication techs on the flight deck of massive aircraft carriers, medical corpsmen coping with an unprecedented pandemic. They are a reflection of America, men and women from small towns and big cities all across our great country. Some hail from long legacies of military service, while others are the first in their families to enlist. But they all felt drawn to the Navy and its opportunities to serve, to learn, to travel, and to protect. And in 2020, COVID-19 challenged them all. But they not only met those challenges, they stood tall, caring for the sailors under their command and offering unparalleled leadership and deep compassion. Every one of them found an inner core of strength, an unrelenting resilience, tempered by Navy training. They also drew support from their Navy families, both aboard and at home. Through months of deployment lengthened by the pandemic, they stayed focused on the mission. Their dedication shines a light on what it means to be a U.S. Navy sailor. But I'm going to let them tell you all about it in their own words.
Being Sailor of the Year to me is just a whole new level of responsibility. I'm an example for my daughters. I have 2 small girls who look up to me, and I just want to always make them proud. When I first joined the Navy, my grandfather had passed away and we were very close. So I found out right like 2 weeks after I got to boot camp. And so they gave me a choice. You can go to your grandfather's funeral and then you won't be in the Navy anymore, or you can continue on. And I was like, at this point, this is my dream. And so I need to continue. And I feel like that made me a better sailor and able to overcome challenges. To me, the Navy means opportunity. So it's an opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's an opportunity to serve your country. And it's an opportunity to provide yourself and your family a better life. So I think the military helps you become more resilient by providing you a mission or goals that you must achieve. And they don't give you much time. Like if you fail at something, to sulk over your mistake. You need to get up and you need to get that mission accomplished. My greatest challenge this past year with the pandemic was my husband going on deployment and school stopped for my children. They couldn't go to daycare, they couldn't go to school, and all of a sudden they were online. I was also the LPO at work. I was also the career counselor for 700 sailors, and I just felt like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna take care of my children? How am I gonna take care of my sailors, my department? And luckily, my best friend also was stationed close to me, and she helped me out so that I could get to work. She's also a sailor, so we worked together, and we were both able to go to work, and we were both able to be moms to our children. When you're a Master at Arms, you work normally shift work, and you're just required to be there no matter what. Do you have daycare? It doesn't matter. You need to be at work. You need to contribute to the mission. So I think that that mentality helped me when it came to dealing with the pandemic, dealing with being a single mother whose spouse was deployed, and dealing with children who couldn't go to school. I think that the mental toughness from being an MA really saved me this past year.
That's my grandpa's dog tag from Vietnam. It hasn't left my neck since he passed away. I know it's been about 10, I think it was 10 years last year. Me and my brother both, we have a dog tag. And that describes my grandpa to a T. He was my hero. He's a good guy. He's just an all-around, never raised his voice to me. Even if I was in trouble, it was firm, but explaining, not angry. More disappointment. The thing that hurts more than the anger is the disappointment, but you just course correction in a proper way, not demeaning, not hurting, and I liked that. Navy's, making me more resilient, every step of the way. You're not gonna make it through the first year without being resilient, right? You're a 17-year-old who's never been away from mom, and then all of a sudden there's a chief just screaming at you. Getting to boot camp and being there, and like I said, just being away, being told, this is what you're gonna wear, this is what you're gonna shower, you're gonna shave in the morning. Making it through that stuff is culture shock, never being talked to like that. And then on to having to go to school and learn all these things that I had never learned before, especially they start putting in your head a little bit more at a time, is that we do go on ships, we do go with the Marines. Most of you are gonna end up with the Marines, and that being the first time that I really ever heard that. If my resilience wouldn't have been there, maybe it shut me down right there, I might have quit course school. My philosophy stems from maybe first or second tour in Iraq. I'm gonna keep moving up through the ranks, and I'm going to ensure that my sailors never feel lost or like no one cares. That's really where my whole philosophy of making an impact and stepping outside and doing things for other people came from. So serving the United States Navy, what it means to me today, obviously it's different from when I first joined. We always have that grand thing, I want to serve my country and stuff, and obviously that's all was part of it. But you have to kind of grasp something more than that to make it a career, to stay in longer than one enlistment, to make it past that first deployment to Iraq, to make it past the second deployment to Iraq. Serving country is great, and it's the basis of what we do. We're out there for it, but you got to find to not only serve the Navy, but serve your brothers. Do it for your family, do it for yourself. Most challenging things in the COVID-19 environment for a corpsman, everything. It totally altered everything on how we do. If you want to shine as a corpsman, last year was your year to shine. It really showed what you've learned or what you're made of. It changed everything that we do. Everybody had to come together and use their collective experience to create new processes for operating in an entirely new world. Because for a time there, they were telling us this is the new normal. This is what we're going to be living for the foreseeable future. And we had to still be an operational platform in a COVID environment. So, my mom has always been my biggest supporter. She cried. Yeah, she cried. Oh my God, my son's gonna be a Navy chief. She's already got like a pillow that says "Mother of a Navy Chief." So she's terrific.
putting myself into my work and really caring about the patients is, I think, how I've gotten here. Me and my brother were twins, and we both decided to join the military right after high school. And he wanted to go to the Marines because he was drawn to the combat, land combat, and I was drawn to the Navy. And we obviously, butted heads about that, made fun of one another. He was only in for about 2.5 years. He lost both his legs in Afghanistan on his first deployment, but now he's medically retired and he's doing well. Being alongside him through the healing process and the rehab, it's extremely difficult on me, my twin brother, we're close, and the family, and it definitely makes you more resilient to other hardships as you go forward. He does inspire me. I look at what he's given to the service, and and I think I'm having a rough day. I think back to what his experience was like, and I'm pretty grateful. When I first enlisted, I was enlisted as a Navy diver, and I quit dive prep course because before I was in the Navy, I was a welder. So I joined to weld, and I had a very gross misunderstanding of how the re-rate process was going to work, and instead of getting that contract back, I was presented postal clerk as an option or corpsman as an option, and I flipped a coin. And I think it's the greatest decision I've never made, and it's 100% been worth it. I've been in for about 13 years, and during that time I've provided a lot of first responder type care to patients. The military helps build resilience by putting you in adverse situations. Like anything, if you put pressure on it, you're gonna adapt and overcome it, hopefully. The past year we had our second child, a daughter, and it was during the height of the COVID pandemic, and that was difficult. There's a lot of logistics you don't normally have to work out when you're having a kid. Being Sailor of the Year means quite a bit to me. I still haven't really found the words for it. I'm extremely grateful for it. I think it's a great recognition of the work that my team put in over the past year. For it to all come together and be recognized in this way, it's amazing. My family is overwhelmingly proud. My wife tells me all the time I deserve it. She's very happy that all the hard work and all the time away from family is being recognized, and I love medicine and I want to keep pursuing it. So, the world has a way of putting you on a path, but I think the job is a great one. I think it's worth doing, and I hope people maybe see this video and say, hey, I want to do that.
I feel like the Navy was my saving grace. I don't know where I would be without the Navy because I didn't have a plan and I didn't know what I was going to do. I came in at 18, okay? So came in at 18, big old head, you're a little cocky and stuff when you're young. In the Navy, I cannot explain how much the Navy has shifted my mind and has taught me, one, never to stay stagnant. You always got to keep moving, you always got to keep progressing, and you always got to keep evolving maturity-wise. We can do deployments. I've been to so many places. I have so many stories to tell everybody. I've gotten my associates, my bachelor's, I'm working on my master's, not had to come out of pocket at all, and you can't do that. In the civilian world, everybody that I've came across and met, I call them my military family, because anytime, we don't have to talk every day, but anytime I need something or guidance, help, or whatever, they're always there. We did the Ike deployment during the whole COVID pandemic. That's when you do deployments, you're so used to going certain places, expectations, and so forth like that. But having to be on board a ship for over 200 days straight can play a lot mentally, physically, emotionally on a sailor. My department's amazing. We always focus on each other, lean on each other, so we always had each other's back and we just got through it. To me, I feel like what the Navy means is sacrifice, because we sacrifice a lot of ourselves to serve this country. The Navy means protection, because we protect all the civilians. It just, to me, means a step above. When I see anybody in the military or even just the Navy, to me, we're a step above. And we always have to hold ourselves to that little higher standard. ain't nobody perfect. We all make mistakes, and you know, sometimes you got to get your hands popped. Sometimes you got to be, you know, congratulated. So to me, and then sometimes you're gonna face adversity, right? You're gonna face challenges. What being a sailor means is, to me, is just what I do every day. I take pride in getting up and putting this uniform on, because not everybody can do it. I take pride in, you know, accomplishing my task, going above and beyond, trying to take care of the team, being resilient, you know, taking up that extra load when you can and helping out. Legit, never ever thought I would ever be a SOI. I'm very introverted. Yeah, I'm still kind of baffled, and I'm still kind of like, wanting to hide behind a curtain sometimes because of the spotlight and everything, but that's the one thing, is just I really never thought I would ever be at this level. So I just hope I can continue to make everybody proud.
My father drove me to service, and I don't mean drove me in the sense of, you know, walk me to the recruiting office or anything like that, but always talked about it highly, always talked about his experience. He wasn't a 20-year man. He did, I think, about 6 years, and he got out, but he said it really defined him in becoming a man and providing for his family. My father, he was a radarman, or what they call operational specialist now, I believe, in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy. I had a great uncle in the Navy. My brother-in-law was a Marine, so I have always had a desire to be in the service. It took me a little bit longer than, you know, maybe my father. It took to join. I enlisted when I was 24. I come from a small town in Rhode Island, North Kingstown, Rhode Island. It's suburbia, and it's, you know, I guess there wasn't a lot going on there in the sense of it's very calm, small town feel. I guess just like everybody else, I was getting out of the Navy in 5 years, and here I am 13 years later, still in. And I found out that I like this, I like the structure, and more so I like helping people, whether it is in a medical capacity or not. I really enjoy seeing others succeed. You join, you go to boot camp, and you literally are looking across the hall or the P-way at 80 different people from 80 different walks of life. And every single one of those people have something that they can bring to the table that could make us as a naval force more competitive. We have not stopped. Even in the face of the coronavirus, we have continued to train these students as they come through the schoolhouse, because there's a mission that needs to be met. We need corpsmen to be able to help and go field these immunization sites and back up these civilian hospitals and also the military treatment facilities. So that was one thing we all had to look at. It would be easy to say we need to stop doing this, but it wasn't realistic. So I think you look at the mission, but also look at the end point of where we need to be. We're almost 2 years into this, and we're still going. And we still have corpsmen on the front lines fighting the coronavirus. The recognition is awesome, and I just hope I can do my best to represent Navy medicine. And that's probably the scariest thing about this whole thing, is kind of being the face right now. This is not something I set out to be. I just want to be someone who takes care of the people around me and is known as a hard worker, and make sure that the people who I work with and work for know that I'm reliable. But I care about my team, I care about this command, and I care about being good at my job, and it got me here. So it's the most humbling and the biggest achievement of my career.
The military's helped me be more resilient, with really just show me what I can handle. It's thrown a lot of stress my way through doing various patrols, the challenges that have come up, the impact it's had on my family, the stresses that it's put through. But really, it's kind of helped me see that I can really take on anything. Back in August of 2019, I came home. My wife was having a stroke, and we got her to the hospital, and she went through months of therapy to recover from that. It's also in the midst of hurricane hitting, and we had a sortie in the middle of also moving into a new house. So it was a really stressful time. We just got through it. Took each moment as it came and the challenges that each one brought, and did what we could. We prayed together every night as a family. We work together. We communicate a lot. And a lot of what holds me together is just seeing my wife and kids, and knowing that even with the long and hard days I have to put in sometimes, they're still there and they're still able to enjoy everything that comes with this life. You know, this past year, 2020, was an intense year. I think everybody got impacted by coronavirus and all the challenges that it brought. For us, specifically on the Alaska, we were going through an ERP, spending the entire year pretty much of 2020 in the shipyard. So working through that with the coronavirus restrictions, the ROM periods, people getting sick, people getting exposed, losing people. But the work still had to get done, and we still had to go down the ship, we still had to move forward. Being Sailor of the Year has been really humbling in of itself. I work with a lot of first classes that I think definitely deserve it, but to be selected amongst them has been really humbling to me. It's really a proud moment. I'm proud and to be selected, but to really see my wife and kids and my family and the pride that they have has been amazing to see. As a chief, the biggest thing is just taking care of my guys. We ask a lot out of all of our sailors. So to make sure that any shortcomings they have, either personally or professionally, that we get them taken care of. Navy gives us a lot of opportunities. There's all sorts of resources that we have available to help our sailors and make sure that they're taken care of. And really what I hope to accomplish is taking care of my sailors, because taking care of your sailors takes care of the mission.
To offer his sincere congratulations and a strong message from the Navy's Senior Enlisted Advisor, I'd like to welcome the 15th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, MCPON Russ Smith, and invite him to share his words of wisdom with our 18 selectees. MCPON Smith began his storied career as an airman in San Diego 33 years ago, rising to the rank of the most senior enlisted member of the U.S. Navy. And he knows becoming Sailor of the Year is more than an individual effort. Rather, it's the culmination of a proud legacy, one of Navy training and many mentors.
Shipmates, congratulations on this superb achievement. Take a knee and reflect on this experience and be proud of your achievements, for they are significant. Also remember those who enabled your talent and provided opportunity throughout your journey, as these accolades come as well from the strength we glean from others. I am grateful for your demonstrated leadership in both your commands and communities, and I look forward to seeing you continue to accomplish great things as you don the hat and ascend to the next level. Thank you for what you do for our Navy, our nation, and our families. Hoo-yah.
Thank you, MCPON Smith. Great counsel from someone who speaks with great wisdom. You know, when we think of those words from MCPON Smith, it reminds us that our honorees represent every sailor from across the country who have raised their right hand and sworn to defend the Constitution, committing themselves to something greater than themselves. Our sailors go to sea knowing that a call to war could come at any time.
Ultimately, the person who's influenced me the most is my father. He always set the example for me and how to be a man and how to work hard and provide for my family. I really couldn't be where I am at today without my dad. The experiences that have impacted me the most in the Navy have been a lot of things. First off, making it through the Aircrewman pipeline has been awesome. Making it past rescue swimmer school, which people would tell me that I wouldn't have been able to make it. Going on deployments, I've attained my level of expertise and my rate. Ultimately, at this point in my career, accumulating over 2,500 flight hours in the aircraft flying, operating in different fleets, just being out to sea. My twin daughters were actually born on my first deployment, so I came home, they were 3 months old. Being away from the family has definitely a difficult experience. It has grown me a lot, but ultimately the people I work with, the sailors, shipmates, people who are my closest and bestest friends have been from my naval career. And dealing with this issue of going on deployment during a pandemic with COVID-19 worldwide, it was tough. And what I sought to do was just set the example of obeying all the restrictions that were set in place by Navy leadership and leadership in our strike group and aboard our ship. And just each and every day, no matter what personal opinions, I may have or other people may have, just setting the example and abiding by those restrictions and guidelines that have been in place, I think is the simplest and most impactful thing that I've done. Having the opportunity to be meritoriously advanced to Chief Petty Officer is something that's very rare. And having that opportunity is very humbling. My son, he's 11 years old. He just started 6th grade 2 weeks ago, and he told his teacher that his dad was Sailor of the Year of the Navy. So even my kids are proud of me. It's been a really cool experience, and then being recognized as U.S. Fleet Forces Sailor of the Year it's truly an honor. It's been a humbling experience. My bar is set high, and being able to reach that bar each and every day, not just for myself, but for the sailors who work with me, really just an awesome experience. It's been great.
I got to watch the sunrise from the top of Mount Fuji in Japan, which I'll never forget that. It was probably one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had, and there's no way I would have been able to do that without the Navy. I was upstairs the first half of my career, never really got to turn wrenches down in the maintenance department, and then I got thrown into the maintenance department. And really a situation like that is just be quiet and listen, and don't ever be the smartest person in the room. I would say that's what holds us together is good communication. All the trivial stuff that we kind of do and get off hit lists and all that, it's for a reason. It's to make sure that we're ready to go complete our mission, and that mission could pop up at any time. So the whole reason we do everything we do, all the training we do, all the readiness, different tasks that we have to do, it's all for a reason. It's to be able to go complete that mission and complete it adequately and effectively. Where do I see it taking me? Well, I'd say it's going to take me to a lot more flying in this airplane right behind me. That's definitely a guarantee. Hopefully get to go see some new places, do some new missions wherever. That's probably the big thing. And then other than that is really just continuing the legacy of Naval Flight Engineers, continuing that, that training pipeline to keep flight engineers in the seat. That's where I kind of see myself for the next few years.
This award does not make me a perfect human being. I'm still human. I'm still capable of failure, but learning from those mistakes is the key to success. You cannot make chief without completing C school and getting your forecaster NEC qualification. So for me, that was very difficult to obtain given my family situation with my daughter's medical condition. I had top of my class 6 months into C school. My daughter unfortunately had another cardiac arrest and was in the ICU for about 7 months. So I went down to C school in Mississippi, in Biloxi, Mississippi, at Keesler Air Force Base, and I took every single measurement, like 3 a day, for a 9-month course on my own with no formal instruction, and passed every single one of them in about 30 days. Yes, I had to work above and beyond. I had to be very industrious. I don't even know how many thousands of hours I worked on deployment. I know it was a lot. I usually worked about a 15-hour day every day, and then I was just there for my sailors at any time that they needed me. It was always about them and thinking about the crew above myself. The thing I have set for when I get to the Chiefs Mess for the first time is to just be broadly accepted by the Chiefs Mess writ large, because we're going to work better as a team, and knowing that there's different personality types and everything like that are just going to be to my advantage. Bring my strengths to the table, they bring their strengths to the table, so I'm looking forward to that. I would say to any junior sailor that we're all capable of being resilient, and we're all capable of having our bad days. Find your moment and go for it.
The ability to work with K9 drew me when I was 18 years old. I thought that would be a great experience. I ended up not working with K9 and worked with Harbor Patrol Unit for most of my career instead. And I would say that this has been the best choice I've made so far. I really enjoy it. What drew me to sea service, my father's in the Coast Guard, so the sea service was already kind of there. There was something about the Navy that attracted it to me. It's given me a lot of life experience. I developed and grew a lot with the Navy as a person, as a worker. It's everything at this point to me. And I thoroughly want to continue seeing where I go, how I can keep growing. My uncle was in the Marine Corps, my grandfather was in the Marine Corps, my husband is currently in the Marine Corps, so a lot of family. The biggest impact that I've had while being in the military is honestly mentoring junior sailors, teaching them and seeing them teach it to other people or succeeding with that information. It does a lot. It's a big confidence booster. Just shows like you can actually have a good impact on people. If you give the right support to people, they can really accomplish anything. Something challenging this past year, as all the Navy knows, was the BHR fire we had here at Naval Base San Diego. Quite a catastrophic event. For me personally, taking on more positional authority, taking on more workload was definitely eye-opening, but it helped me become a better person, better sailor, and definitely just learning to work with what you have under these circumstances. The military can make us resilient because we have to adapt and overcome. It's the basis of our fundamentals at this point. Just learning to go with it. Some stuff is out of your control. Do what you can in your control and just try your best to mitigate what future circumstances that pop up. I'm just going to keep pushing as hard as I can and achieve what I can and just stay in as long as I can. Just want to make the most of my time in the Navy.
I always say, you carry that new last name and your working uniform is the United States Navy, so you always got to rely on your family just to take care of each other and be more resilient. My plan was I would join the Marines. That was always my plan. And as I got older, I went to go meet with a Marine recruiter, which is kind of the funny story, and he didn't show up, and the Navy recruiter did. I just wanted to get out and explore. I spent 20 years of my life in one town, and so by that time, I was ready just to see what else the world had to offer. I traveled to Japan and around a lot of Asia. I got an opportunity to see Korea and China and go to the Philippines. It was very well worth it over the last almost 17 years. I was an IC3 in the middle of deployment, and I was also part of Visit Board Search and Seizure. So there was a lot of times where I had maintenance to do and trouble calls to do, and I had law enforcement phases to go through and do boardings, and there was just not a lot of time for me or for sleep or anything like that. So being resilient and tough was something I really had to rely on, just to know that we'll get through it, get the job done, meet the mission, and then when things smooth out, we'll get where we need to be. What the United States Navy means to me has evolved over time. The more I got familiar with what the Navy is and what it stands for, and with all the positive mentorship I've had, it's really come to light that to me, ultimately it's about being excellent, not just everything that you do, but in what everyone else does around you as well. Not everything I do and not everything I say is always going to be perfect, because no one is, but I always want to be, in any way I can, an inspiration or even a catalyst for others to succeed. And if anyone was wanting to reach out and what did you do and how did you do it, I'm always open to anything like that, because that is what helped contribute to my success, is other success. My grandmother, she's in her 90s and she's had raised 13 kids. I mean, she's survived multiple times, breast cancer, stroke, other forms of cancer, and she's resilient and she never gives up. And that's one of the strongest qualities I could see in a person. And I'm proud that she's the head of our family, and that's who I want to represent as myself. And one day when I'm the leader of ultimately grandchildren, maybe great-grandchildren, I want that to be remembered and reflected on, is that toughness.
Being in the United States Navy, it's about more than just yourself. The opportunity to serve with many great individuals around the world has provided me more opportunities than I would have ever imagined. The experiences in the Navy that impact me the most is the opportunity to live abroad and experience all the various different cultures while also serving with great Americans. Being in the military has helped me be resilient, because at any moment's notice, you have to adapt to change. The world is changing every moment, and that's no different than in the military, especially living abroad in a country like Japan. A time in my life where I had to be resilient was during our 2020 COVID patrol, where we were extended underway for a foreseeable future during the COVID-19 crisis. We overcame many adversities. Sea service has helped me overcome this challenge, because when you're at sea, you rely on the family of brothers and sisters you serve with underway. Being Sailor of the Year is a great achievement, but it's really about we and not about me. The team I have on board, United States 7th Fleet, we've persevered through so much, and without these great sailors and men and women alike, it could not have been accomplished. Though there's so much more to achieve additionally. It doesn't stop at this point. It just keeps going and going, and we'll see what the future holds.
Here now is a message from the 32nd Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Mike Gilday. Admiral Gilday is the son of a Navy sailor. He has spent decades in service to our nation's highest military ideals.
Shipmates, C&O Gilday here. I'm honored to be with you all virtually to recognize and celebrate the achievements of the 2020 Sailors of the Year. There's no doubt 2020 challenged all of us, from the COVID-19 pandemic to extended deployments. I'm inspired by the grit each of these sailors displayed, the leadership these sailors have shown, and their dedication to our United States Navy. Indeed, these 18 men and women, whose stories you will hear shortly, represent the very best of our Navy and epitomize honor, courage, and commitment. Their meritorious promotions exemplify their performance in demanding, challenging, and unique assignments. Hold on to that motivation, shipmates. To each of the 18 Sailors of the Year, congratulations. We're so very proud of you. I look forward to seeing you leading our Navy as chiefs. See you in the fleet, shipmates.
Thank you, Admiral Gilday. I can think of no more powerful words than to hear our CNO say these sailors represent, quote, the very best of our Navy and epitomize honor, courage, and commitment, unquote. What powerful words.
I chose to join the Navy, and specifically the submarine force. I heard a lot about some of the benefits on a close-knit community being on a submarine, and that meant a lot to me. United States Navy, what it means to me is dedicating to something and defending our country. It's been a very important part of my life. That's why I decided to join the military in the first place. Several members of my family have had military service in the past, and I also wanted to be a part of that carry that tradition on and serve my country as well. Being a part of the submarine community has been a very rewarding experience for me. I've gained countless learning opportunities from it, and it's made me a better person overall. Sea service prepared me for time away from my wife and my family, just by just being strong, you know, being resilient. Being underway on a submarine is not an easy job, but you get through it, you're tough, and then you do your job. There are various instances on board a submarine where resiliency is necessary to be able to combat a casualty on board the ship, so that's very important. All the submarine training that I've received has really made me a technical savvy kind of person, and the experiences just has been absolutely rewarding. My family has contributed to my success by just always being there for me, always supporting my decisions. I've been stationed overseas for quite some time, and they've always backed me up and supported my decisions to continue my Navy service. Being Sailor of the Year means to me that I've gotten to a point in my career where I can only thank the people that have mentored me and the people that I've worked with over the last 11 years. It's meant a lot to me. I've gained a lot of countless friendships and relationships that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. As a Navy Chief, I'm looking forward to being in charge and running Auxiliary Division. It means a lot to me. It's a goal that I've been set out to do for quite some time now. And being the leader for that division, molding young sailors into becoming leaders in the future means a lot to me.
What drew me to the Navy as opposed to other branches was the opportunity to be able to see the world. Seemed like an adventure that I couldn't pass up. I do not have any family in the service at the moment. I'm the only one. The military has made me more resilient by making me realize that I don't have to go through any adversity or challenge by myself. I can always lean on my shipmates and my family for support for anything that can come my way. What holds me together is my wife, Sylvia, and my belief that challenge is good and necessary. I believe with those two, I can accomplish anything. Being awarded Sailor of the Year means everything to me because it's a reflection of my leadership, my family, and my shipmates on what we were able to accomplish. I couldn't be here without them. My family feels proud of me for winning Sailor of the Year because they know how much time we've sacrificed in order for me to win this award. What I hope to accomplish as a U.S. Navy Chief is to positively impact as many sailors as I can, both professionally and personally, and to do my small part in maintaining the U.S. Navy as the strongest and most lethal force in the world.
I decided to be a Master at Arms because it involves a lot of outside time, a lot of doing. You're not really a technician or a maintainer. Being in that environment where you're Navy 24/7 and you're out there doing the mission, that's probably the most rewarding and beneficial experience for sailors and for myself especially. So doing those deployments, running missions is definitely, you know, the experiences I have the fondest memories of. So it's a small team, it's a small unit that goes out, typically led by a chief or a first class, and it's extremely rewarding because, you know, I'm on a DDG now in the force protection world. You know, you don't have to ask permission to do anything when you're out there on an MSC ship. It's all the tactical control is given to that mission commander who's a chief. So it's a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of fun as well. The military has helped me be more resilient by teaching me discipline and teaching me the skills that I need to succeed as well. I think that in the military, you're definitely put in a lot of situations that you're not really going to encounter anywhere else, and sometimes a lot more is expected out of you, and that helps shape and mold you if you let it. So I think a time when everyone has had to be resilient is during the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that learning to plan and execute operations in a pandemic-denied environment is going to be a sticking point where everyone in the Navy had to learn to cope with a new threat factor. To me, being Sailor of the Year is humbling. I've been privileged to be involved with the Sailor of the Year program, be it Junior Sailor of the Year, Blue Jacket of the Year, at multiple commands now. My family's proud. They're proud of my service. They're proud of everything that I've accomplished since I've been in the Navy. It's a work-life balance thing as well. Your family definitely sacrifices for you when you're out there, when you're on deployment, or when you're on the ship, when you're putting in long hours to get the job done.
Being a Navy diver, it had that air of excitement to it, something that I never really had done before in my life. Diving, it seemed like something new, something exciting, something that going into work every day is just going to be a little bit of an adventure. When I originally was coming in to the military, I wasn't even considering the Navy. First off, my family has a history of Air Force, and then we have some people in the Army as well, and then I was actually set to go into the Army office and take a job, start signing paperwork, and start the path that direction. Well, he was late. I was sitting there with my dad, and we were there for like 30 minutes, and he still hadn't showed up yet, and the Navy office was next door. So we jump over, and there was a brochure for a Navy diver at the front. He talked to me for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that was, I guess the rest they say is history, all that stuff, and now I'm here. Something as simple as doing a quick security swim on a submarine. They take 20 to 25 minutes, but that security swim and that dive is getting that submarine underway on time, so it's maintaining its proper rotation. So getting to be a part of something bigger than myself that's what the Navy means to me. So it's different challenges, and every day you wake up, you never really know what you're going to do with the emergencies come up, and that resiliency that's taught me to just be able to adapt, be able to overcome everything that comes. Maximum flexibility, and that's what you have to have. And being in the Navy has taught me how to adapt to that. But even when I can't always have a set schedule, I want how to adapt and overcome the challenges. Different challenges come up every day that we have to deal with. And it's kind of taught me the sense of putting time into something and seeing that every little thing you do, the impact it has on something so small as just the way you teach something, the way you mentor somebody, and where that can take you to if you just put the time into it. I definitely had to stress to my wife and even my son that this wouldn't have happened without you guys, without you backing me up. There's no way I would have made it this far.
Right.
The rest of my family outside the Navy, a bit further away, the ones that had more of the Air Force and Army background. Oh, Sailor here. Oh, what's that? That sounds cool. So I had to kind of explain to them a little bit. It's like, this is kind of a big one. This is a big deal. So, but no, they're all very proud of it.
I was drawn to sea service because I had grown up an Air Force child. I wanted to experience a different branch, and I thought, what a better way to experience the world and see different places than to see it on the ocean. The United States Navy means to me teamwork, pride in our work, sacrifice for the greater good, out here protecting the seas. A few experiences I could think of that have impacted me the most would definitely be my first deployment to Bahrain. 6 months, middle of the desert, hot, away from the family, miserable at sometimes, but I pushed through it. I had to learn to rely on the sailors that I worked with. I had to learn to rely on the friends that I had made. They were my family out there. So out to sea, the Navy is what you have, family, friends. You have to rely on them. You have to learn to rely on advice from each other, help each other, be there for each other. I'm not in this by myself. I'm here to learn from my peers, my mentors, my leaders. They're there for me. Being Sailor of the Year to me means that hard work pays off, that my leaders believed in me, my leaders trusted in me to lead sailors, to mentor them, not only leading and mentoring sailors that worked for me, but mentoring me to be a better sailor. Being Sailor of the Year helps my career by giving me more opportunities for job titles, expand on my knowledge and experience, and also turn around and be able to give back to sailors. My family is super excited for this accomplishment. They know all the hard work that I put in to my job, the long nights, the long days, but hard work pays off, and they're very, very excited for me. I see my military experience and training taking me in the future to many different commands where I can give back.
The terrorist attacks that occurred on September 11th, 2001 were a direct call to service for me to join the Navy. I left for boot camp just a few short months after that. My Aunt Barbara is now a retired Port Authority police officer, and she had a very significant role in the wake of 9/11 at the World Trade Center. She has always been not only my mentor, but my hero. And she has, in ways that she probably doesn't realize, continued to help me drive through my career. My rate is technology-based and is forever changing, especially on the Gerald R. Ford, where we experienced all kinds of new technology and new equipment. I've definitely grown to really love my job and love what I do. Mental toughness goes a long way in the Navy, and you have to be able to take a hit and keep on going, and to be able to move forward. Resilience, I think, plays a big part in that. We were all having a really tough time being stuck out to sea when COVID first hit, not knowing what we were coming home to. We were operating in a way that was absolutely uncharted territory for all of us. And every day we were taking a hit, and we had to keep on moving, so that way we could not only survive, but learn to still be able to thrive within that COVID environment. I had so many people coming to me asking me if everything was gonna be okay, and I didn't necessarily have the answers for them. But being able to work with this group and come together and reassuring them that, you know, we were all gonna get through whatever was gonna come our way together. One of those has definitely been one of the most memorable and notable experiences, unique experiences that I've had in the Navy. To be able to be recognized for the culmination of all of that hard work is, absolutely extraordinary, and I really appreciate it. My family is definitely very, very proud of me. They've definitely sacrificed a lot by not having their mother home as much as they would like, and for my husband to not have his wife home, but they've done such a good job at working together to get everything done. And my husband works full time and takes care of the kids while I'm gone too. And I'm really, really grateful for that. I would not be able to do this without him. Most likely 5 years from now, I'll probably be steaming on a carrier in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
What an amazing group of men and women. We've been honored to bring you these brief vignettes from our 2020 Sailors of the Year. We thank them for offering insights into their deeply personal service and sacrifice. And a special thanks to MCPON Russ Smith and Admiral Mike Gilday for their words of inspiration. These 18 sailors represent our Navy's finest. Please join me in congratulating them for their selection as the Navy's 2020 Sailors of the Year, and for their meritorious selection to Chief Petty Officer. Tonight's program will be posted online on the Navy Memorial's website. We urge you to please share it generously to let America and the world know about our sailors' extraordinary talent, dedication, and service. Please spread the word from sea to shining sea. Thank you for watching, and as always, fair winds and following seas.